Should you fight for your marriage, or is it time to give up on it? How do you make that decision? Today, I am going to help you make that choice and feel good about it. Regardless of which choice you make, you are going to have clarity, you are going to feel secure and validated in that decision. That is where we are going to get to today. I'm Rachael Sloan. I help anxious people save their marriages by overcoming their intrusive thoughts in just 30 days. And regardless of whether you want to save your marriage or end it, I can help you do so in a way that feels safe and good and clear and certain so that you don't suffer anymore from this should I, what is right, what is wrong. That's what we're going to just blow out of the water today. There is no right or wrong choice. This is going to set you free, and I will show you how. So there's a couple things I want to cover today. I want to show you how there is no right or wrong in this case. I want to show you what you're really afraid of and why this decision feels so important. And finally, I want to explain to you the work that you're going to have to do regardless of what decision you make. And I say work because it's actually a really, really good thing, because it means you have a lot more power and control over the situation than you think you do right now. So when I say there's no right or wrong, why can I say that so confidently? If you look around, I want you to ask yourself, how many people do I know who have fought for their marriages and how many people have given up, right? Was it right or wrong, each of those? Is there some, did your friend Sue get some letter from the universe and was like, hey, yeah, Sue, you made the right choice staying and fighting? No, there's no letter from the universe. Sue's not getting a letter. You're not getting a letter. It is up to you what you choose. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. Your friends are going to have opinions. Your spouse is going to have an opinion. Your family is going to have an opinion. Your kids are going to have an opinion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if they all agree and you take the other option. All that matters is how you are going to speak to yourself in the future, because that is what you are really afraid of. And I know that sounds crazy, but let's go there. So let's say you decide to fight for this marriage. You decide to stay and fight. Well, what happens 5 years down the road? What happens if your partner cheats again? What happens if their mental illness gets worse? What happens if you never go after that amazing promotion you had and you start doubting yourself, right? Are you going to be 5 years down the road and looking back and thinking, I made the wrong choice? I shouldn't have done that. I've ruined my life. You hear that? These are things you might say to yourself in the future. What if you do leave this marriage? What if you do say, it's time, I'm giving up, throwing in the towel, off I go? And then 5 years from now, you're not with anybody else, and you look back and your current partner has become this amazing person. They've gotten really successful, I don't know, maybe even more handsome or beautiful than they were before. And you look back, maybe they have kids with someone else. You look back and you say, oh, that's the life I could have had. I totally blew it. I messed it up. I can't believe I did this. I'll never be happy. You see, when you think this way, you are setting yourself up for failure. It doesn't matter what you do. If you stay, you're afraid you're going to regret staying. If you leave, you're afraid you're going to regret leaving. But that is all about how you talk to yourself in the future. If you sit here right now and you say, no matter what I do, no matter what I choose, and no matter what happens, I am going to be nice to myself in the future, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, regardless of the choice I make today, I'm only going to say nice things to myself in the future. Because you're not afraid of making the wrong choice. You're afraid that you're going to beat yourself up for the choice you made later. You're going to look back and say, I was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better. I've messed it all up. You're afraid you're going to say mean things to yourself and feel bad later because of what you do today. So if you just decide that that's not going to happen, this is completely within your power to control. If you just decide you're going to love yourself and be nice to yourself and hold grace and compassion for yourself, no matter what happens, you've got your own back. Suddenly, it doesn't become so scary anymore. There is no more wrong choice. There is no more regret. You're not going to talk to yourself that way. You're not going to beat yourself up. You're not going to verbally abuse yourself in your own mind 5 years from now when you look back at this decision. You're going to love yourself then. That's what you're committing to doing. If you can commit to loving yourself in the future and not being mean to yourself, suddenly this choice becomes a lot less scary. Right? It doesn't matter what choice you make. There is no objectively right or wrong answer. And what you are really afraid of is that you're going to be mean to yourself later about the choice you made. And that is where the work comes in. Because regardless of which choice you make, you have work to do. If you don't want to be mean to yourself about this decision later, you need to do some work on your thoughts and on your feelings. Because we know right now, if you are stuck and can't decide, should I stay, should I fight, or should I leave, should I give up? If that's where you are, it means that you've put yourself in a fail-fail situation. Lose-lose. Whatever you choose, whichever path you imagine taking, you are envisioning a future point where you're going to turn around and regret that choice. That's why it's so hard to make the choice. And so if you don't want to regret the choice, if you don't want to be mean to yourself in the future, well, you've got some work to do to clean up that negative self-talk, to confront that inner critic, to stop this negative self-flagellation is what it is. We spend all this time like almost wallowing in being mean to ourselves. To stop that is going to take some work. You're going to have to learn how to manage your mind. You're going to have to learn how to think and feel with intention the way you want on purpose. And it is so doable and completely within your capabilities. But you have to do the work to get there. You're not just going to wake up one day and stop being mean to yourself. You are going to have to spend some time exploring those thoughts, getting to know what's going on in your brain and how it's playing out in your life so that you can think and feel the way you want. And so let's imagine that you decide to stay. You decide to fight for this marriage, okay? Well, you're going to have some thoughts about that. You're going to have thoughts about what your partner did, what you did, the things you said to each other. You're also going to have thoughts about what you're giving up. You're going to have thoughts about not being single, about not going after your dreams on your own, about not changing your life, right? There's going to be a lot of thoughts in there that are going to create a lot of feelings, and you are going to have to do the work on those thoughts and feelings. And what if you choose to leave? What if you're like, yeah, okay, I don't want to do that work. Okay, leave. Throw in the towel, marriage is over, off you go. Maybe you're pursuing something really exciting, a new career, a new dream, a new love. You're still going to have a lot of thoughts about ending your marriage. You're going to have a lot of thoughts about what your partner did and said and what you did and said. And you are going to have to do the work on those thoughts if you don't want to use them against yourself in the future. So this is where you have the real choice. The choice isn't should I stay or should I leave? The choice is which work do I want to do? Do I want to do the work on my thoughts and feelings around staying? Or do I want to do the work on my thoughts and feelings about leaving? Because if you don't do the work, it doesn't matter what choice you make at all. If you don't do the work, you are not going to feel better. You might get a little relief here and there, but if you don't do the work to change your thoughts and feelings, it doesn't matter if you leave this partner, if you remarry, if you get divorced again, if you have 2 kids and get married again, right? You can do this. You can change your circumstance. You can change your partner. You can change your marriage 10 times if you want. But if you never do the work on your own thinking, on your own feeling, if you never learn to manage your mind, you're going to end up feeling just as bad as you do in this moment where you're waffling between what should I do, stay or go. That's not going to get better until you do the work on the thoughts. It's the thoughts ultimately that are causing your feelings and causing your suffering. So let's do a little recap here because I know this is a lot of information and I know it's also not exactly what you want to hear. But if you are serious about getting happy, about creating the life and the kind of relationship that you really, really want, this is where you need to focus your energy and do your work. So here are the 3 things to take away today. First, What was the first thing I said? First, there is no objective right or wrong answer. There's just not. You're never going to know for sure the right or wrong choice because there is not one. So stop driving yourself crazy trying to figure out what's the right thing to do. There is not a right thing to do. There is just a choice you have to make about which work you want to do. That's first. There's no right or wrong answer. Stop looking for one. The second takeaway is to understand what you're really afraid of. You are not afraid of making the wrong choice. You are afraid that you're going to be mean to yourself about the choice you make in the future. So if you decide not to be mean to yourself, if you commit to cultivating loving compassion for yourself, you don't have to be afraid of the choice you make today. You're afraid that you're going to beat yourself up about it a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's what you're really afraid of. And the third takeaway is no matter what choice you make, you have to do the work on your thoughts and your feelings. You have to learn how to manage your mind to feel better. If you don't want the anxiety, if you don't want the overwhelm, the frustration, the anger, the sadness, you have to do the work on your thoughts. So the only choice you have now, well, you have two really. You have the choice of which work do I want to do? Do I want to do the work on staying or the work on leaving? And you also have the choice, do I want to be mean to myself in the future? Or do I want to have compassion for myself no matter what and always have my own back? That's where we're going to get when you do the work, regardless of whether you stay or leave. You get to choose which work, but I would strongly, strongly encourage you to do the work and build that compassion and have your own back so that you don't beat yourself up. Because if you don't do that, if you stay in this waffling place, regardless of which choice you make, you're going to be hard on yourself in the future and cause yourself more pain and more suffering. If you want help sorting through this is what I do with my clients all of the time. I help them get clarity on their decisions. I help them understand what is really happening specifically in their minds. And I show them how to do this work on their thoughts and feelings so that they can choose how to think and how to feel on purpose. If that sounds like something you would like help with, please click in the description. There's a link for a free strategy session with me. We can talk. You can tell me all about what's going on for you, and I can show you how I can help. And please don't forget to click subscribe and click on the little bell. Turn on the notifications. I'll be putting out a lot more videos to help you understand how to save this marriage or let it go and how to create the kind of healthy, happy relationship you really want to have. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.